Hope that you are done with the screenshot. So let's talk about the whole things briefly in its practical approach. How you say that if the things are invariance or the things remains invariance under these kind of curriculum, this such type of curriculum or in such type of circumstances. This remains invariant just because every time the concept of motion or the concept of position always remains the same. You can got an example saying that if you are sitting in a particular room and your friend which is sitting in the room next to you or maybe outside the room, then the gate which is appearing to you, the gate which is separating you and your friend, the gate will remains the same for you and for your friend. If someone opens the gate from the opposite direction saying the gate is open towards you, then according to your friend it may be got some positive displacement and according to you it may get some negative displacement, which is this third law. This is particular third law. This is all of the game of the observation. Yes, if you get two observers there, then for every time for these two observers the actions will be the same in magnitude, but in direction maybe they got some opposite cases. Saying that if you are standing in here and my friend which is standing next to the board here, some kind say maybe a foot away from me, that if I am standing here and my particular friend which is standing a foot away from me, and if something is going just in front of us, then the displacement will be same for us, but maybe for the different reference we can explain the motion in some sort of different perspectives. Okay, so this is all for the Newtonian relativity. I hope that you got the concept of invariance of Newtonian relativity in this particular sense in the frames of reference. Well, if you got the concept here, I think I should clear this off. I think I should clear this off all the board here, and then we will talk about some important mathematical examples which are important in sense of your exam point of view. So I hope that you are done with the screenshot, and if you hadn't, then I can be aside for a while and then we will clear this off and we'll proceed here. Okay, so this is it. Keep it in mind that we are talking about all these things here. Okay, so let's talk about some important mathematical examples starting for the frame of reference. Okay, so now we have two different reference frames, saying the frame of reference S and another frame of reference saying S dash, for example. So for both of these reference frames saying we got position vector this is our question, sorry. For reference frame S, which is the R vector, and is equals to I cap 6t square minus 3t square minus 3t plus j cap minus 5t square plus 7k cap. And don't get confused, this is in meters. This is explaining the meters because every time the position vector or the displacement vector should be unitized in the form of meter. The unit should be used for them, which is in meters. And for frame S dash, and for the frame S dash, the position vector saying which is the R dash, which is equals to I cap 6t square plus 3t plus j cap minus 5t square plus 7k cap, and again it is in meters. Okay, so we got two position vectors saying for the frame S and for the frame S dash. So we are supposed to find out the velocity of the frame S dash with respect to the frame S. Okay, let's find out the velocity here. We got two different here. So the question saying velocity of reference frame S dash with respect to S. Okay, so we got two reference frames here. It means that the secondary frame of reference or the S dash is moving with a particular velocity. So we are supposed to find out that at which rate or at which velocity the frame S dash is moving with respect to the frame S. So let's find out. We will use some results from like the Galilean transformation from the coordinate transformation equation. So from Galilean transformation, the solution is here. First of all, from Galilean transformation, Galilean transformations, saying the R dash must be equals to R minus Vt. Yes, if you remember the result saying R dash is equals to R vector minus Vt, and we are supposed to find out this value V here. Okay, so we will find out this particular value. Let's find out what this value should be equals to. So Vt here is equals to R vector minus R dash vector. Yes, this must be equals to this particular value. Okay, so we will use all these values here. So what does these values will equals to? Saying R vector is here, R dash vector is here. Let's write all these values. Keep in mind that the component of I cap must be subtracted from the component of I cap. The component of j cap may be subtracted from the component of j cap, and the component of k cap is being subtracted from the component of k cap. Okay, so let's say what we have. Let's find out. Saying we got I cap here, and for the R vector this value is 6t square minus 3t, and again we will use minus here, minus 6t square, this is again minus here, minus 3t. Okay, this is for the I cap, plus we will find out for the j cap here. This is minus 5t square, and again it goes plus 5t square for this value. Okay, if I am not going wrong, this is for this particular value. Okay, so this is it. So we have subtracted these two values here. What remains is the 7k here plus k cap 7 minus 7. Okay, so we will use our simple mathematics. Okay, let's use the simple mathematics here. This 6t square being cancelled out by the 6t square. Okay, This minus 5t square been cancelled out for the the plus 5t square, and this 7 been cancelled for the minus 7 here. So what remaining is the minus 3t and minus 3t, which is equals to the minus 6t here. Okay. Well, this t is been used for the component of time here. So Vt is equals to, well, this velocity is a vector quantity. V vector is Vt vector is equals to this I cap minus 3t minus 3t, okay, which is again becomes the minus 6t here. Well, t been cancelled out for the t here, so the velocity vector V vector is equals to minus 6 I cap, and this is equals to the meter per second. This is the unit here. So we are subjected to find out this particular value. I hope that this value is not so much complicated for you. You can calculate yourself pretty much easier. So let's talk about the second example here. This got two questions. In one part it has two questions, saying the second question is, prove that the acceleration of particle is same in both reference frames. Okay, so let's find out the acceleration here. Okay, so let's find out. We are subjected to prove that acceleration of particles remains the same for all the reference frames, for the frames S and S dash. Okay, for the frames S and S dash here. So let's find out the acceleration here. The acceleration will depend only on the component, saying the acceleration must be planar. Acceleration could not be vary in all the three planes at the same time. It should be going in only the two planes here, saying that if you remember the time component here, you must keep in mind the time component. We will gonna derivate these values, saying this is the for r vector, and for this r dash vector we will find out the velocity for both of these reference frames, and then we will calculate the acceleration here. Okay, the acceleration of particle p in reference frame S. First we will find out the acceleration. The acceleration in frame S. A vector which must be equals to d2r over dt square. Okay, so we will differentiate this value of r 2 times. Okay, so the only value remains which has only the 2 times derivative, saying this will be equals to 12 I cap minus 10 j cap. 12 I cap minus 10 j cap. This has all been calculated by this. Okay, so this is the first derivative and the second derivative of this particular equation. So which is a vector, and this is equals to this value. Say this is the value here. Let's say this is equation 1 here. We will compare both of these equations. Now the acceleration in frame S dash, which is equals to the A dash vector, and this is equals to d2r dash over dt square. So this is again applied on this equations, and this is equals to the 12 I cap minus 10 j cap again. So this is all for the reference frame S dash, and this is for the reference frame S. Comparing both the equations, saying the comparing equation 1 and 2, comparing equations 1 and 2, you can say that A vector is equals to the A dash vector, which is subjected to proof, and hence it is proved. So this is what we are subjected to prove, and this has a unit saying the meter per second square, and this is again has the unit here. Okay, so this is it. A vector is subjected to equals to the A dash vector, which we have proved, and this is all we are subjected to prove. Let me be aside, you can take a screenshot for your reference, and then we will proceed to the next important example here. Okay, so we will talk about the next example. The next example is again a proof, and it has some particular explanations of projectile motion. If you remember the projectile motion which has been discussed in your 11th class or in your +1, then you remember the concept pretty much easy, and this concept will be far more easier for you. But if you don't, then it is up to me to explain the concept again, and you can get a clear reference. But if the students who has watched all this, who know very well about the projectile motion, then they can skip this part of this video, and this may be the last part of this video here. Okay. So we are subjected to prove the trajectory of a projectile. We are being said to prove that the trajectory of a projectile as seen from another projectile is always a straight line. Is always a straight line. Okay, so let's prove this. And if you remember the projectile motion, then this concept has some sort of advantage for you, saying that the projectile motion is this kind of motion, which is a motion which is considered for both the axis here, saying for having two components of axis, saying the horizontal component and the another one which is the vertical component. We will talk about these two particular components, saying the horizontal component and the vertical component here. So what is the horizontal component and what is the vertical component? Okay, so let's talk about both of these motion. This motion is for both the axis, saying the horizon, and for the vertical axis. But every time when a projectile starts from origin, so we consider that every time we consider a projectile, we consider that projectile is moving from from origin. And let's say that if this particular projectile which is moving from origin is making an angle alpha. Yes, it is making an angle alpha here, and this is the angle of projection. Alpha is termed to be the angle of projection. This is the angle of projection. Well, we have two components, saying the vertical component and the particular horizontal component. For vertical component, you say that the component saying having a value of cosine of alpha, and for the vertical component it maybe has a value of saying the sine of alpha or maybe the cosine of alpha. If you consider this as an infinite small element, then you can consider this particular projectile as a straight line for some short distance, and if you draw a perpendicular here, let us say this is OAB, this is a perpendicular, and consider this specific line here as a straight line, because the distance are assumed to be infinitesimal, very small here. This is what it is. This is the perpendicular here. Okay, this is the perpendicular. So let's find out the value of its perpendicular component and its base component. I means the horizon, and the value of vertical component. This vertical component AB, and the horizon component saying this is the component saying the BO. Okay, so what should be the value of BO here? You say OB over AO, OB over AO, this is equals to the cosine of alpha. Okay, this is equals to the cosine of alpha, or you can say that OB is equals to AO cosine of alpha. Okay, and AB in same sense, AB will equals to AO sine of alpha. You remember both of these values come up with the simple trigonometric calculations. So this is what it is. We got these two values here. But if we got two velocities here, let's say the first projectile, we got this one projectile here, and let's consider here is one more projectile here, and we are supposed to come up with the result saying the one projectile seen from another projectile always seems or always behaves as a straight line. So let's find out, saying let the velocity is here, the vertical component or the horizontal velocity here, let's say this horizontal velocity is equals to u1 for the first projectile, then you can say that the initial horizontal velocity velocity will be equals to u1 cos of alpha, and the initial vertical velocity which is again equals to the u1 sine of alpha. Let's say these are the two equations, mark them. Okay, so let's say we got some another component here saying this another projectile making an angle beta here, where beta is again the angle of projection for the second projectile. We got two projectiles here, which one, the first one is making an angle alpha, and the second one which is making an angle beta here. But after t seconds, this is for the initial values here, But what if you got to spend t seconds in the free space, then what will happen? So horizontal velocity components will change. So after t second, the horizontal velocity component, well, the horizontal velocity will have no effect of gravity there. So this will again equals to the u1 cos of alpha here. Yes, this is equals to the u1 cos of alpha. You say this is equals to Vx, which is equals to the u1 cos of alpha. But the vertical velocity, you say, which is Vy, will reduce by a factor of time due to gravity. Yes, this will be reduced, saying that which was the u1 sine of alpha get reduced with the component gt, where g is the gravitational constant and t is the time in which the whole things which are happening over there. And the same things will happen with another projectile. Also for the second projectile, making an angle beta, what we will have, the Vx is u2 cos of beta, but the Vy is been changed, saying the u2 sine of beta minus gt. Yes, these components will again get changed for the velocity components, for the first one and for the second one. Okay. Now we will use the Galilean transformation and will compare the velocity of projectile for the first and for the second. Well, let's say these are the capital V's and let's say these are the small v's here. Okay, using Galilean transformations, transformations for velocity, what we will have? We will have the horizontal component and the vertical component as saying the Vx and Vy will change as the Vx dash, for example, you say. Now this is the Vx dash, which will be equals to saying this Vx, so the capital Vx minus this small Vx. Okay. So these two things are supposed to be kept into consideration, saying this is equals to dx dash over dt, and this is equals to, these all things are taken into the magnitude form, in the vector form, because velocity should be considered as vector. Well, these are not the vectors, but this particular value is considered to be a vector quantity here. So we will use the values, saying u2 cos of beta minus u1 cos of alpha. Okay, so this is what it will be, u2 cos of beta minus u1 cos of alpha, and for the y component also Vy dash is equals to Vy minus capital Vy minus gt, and again plus gt will cancel out each other. So what does remains is, the remaining are the u2 sine of beta minus u2 sine of alpha, and this is the dy dash over dt. So these are the displacement factors we got from our calculus. So now we will integrate these equations with respect to time, and with integrating these equations, what we will end up having? We will end up having a straight line equations. So let's say this is equation 1 and this is equation 2. I think I should use this particular workspace here. Okay, so let's find out the values here. Integrating equation 1 and 2, integrating equation 1 and 2 with respect to the time t, and then what we will have? We will have the integrating value saying that x dash is equals to u2 cos of beta minus u1 cos of alpha, this is t here, and y dash which is equals to u2 sine of beta minus u1 sine of alpha t. So what when we these we got some two equations saying this is equation 3 and this is equation 4. Now let's say equation 4 is being divided by the equation 3. Dividing equation 4 by equation 3, we will have y dash is equals to u2 sine of beta minus u1 sine of alpha over u2 cos of beta minus u1 cos of alpha, and this is x dash. So this is an equation, and if you remember the straight line equation, every time we go to straight line equation saying y is equals to mx plus c, where c is any constant and maybe c could be reduced as 0. So y is equal to mx is the main straight line equation. So if comparing these two equations, you will end up having, if you compare all these two equations saying like mx plus c, and maybe c could be reduced as 0 or maybe c could be forgotten here. So if you compare these two equations, you will end up having a result saying that this is representing a straight line here. Well, this particular equation representing a straight line, and this is the RTP which was required to prove. So we have meet up our result here, which we are supposed to come up with. The result which is supposed to be prove that the projectile motion for one reference frame remains or maybe seems as a straight line when it is being watched or when it is being observed from another frame of reference for another projectile motion. Okay, so this is what we are subjected to talk about. So you can take a screenshot for your reference, let me be aside, and then we will proceed further for our next examples. Okay, so this is all for this particular video. We will continue our explanation of examples of these kinds for our next video, which is again be the lecture 4th here. So thank you very much for watching this video, and thanks a lot for supporting this Mehta PG College online study portal. So keep on watching these kind of videos, and if you are supposed to watch these kind of videos regularly, then please subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon. And if you learn something new from this video in which we are talking about the mechanics here, So you can give a thumbs up, or maybe in your sense you can yourself, but so again from a heartily thank you for all those subscribers and for all the viewers who are viewing these videos. So thank you very much again and again. Have a great day and a happy learning. So this is Mehta PG College Online Study Portal signing off.